I'm Hunter.
I'm Rebecca.
I'm Caitlin. I'm Nessa.
This is the Family Showdown!
Yay! It's top 100 time again! This time, the definitive one. The definitive. Good evening. Welcome. Yay! Happy to see y'all. How's it going? How's life? You ready for some top 100 goody goodness?
I guess so.
Yeah.
So, this is what we do each year after we complete our top 100s. Rebecca does hers, I did mine.
Yep.
In the other order.
Yep.
We take and mush them together
We do.
and rate them a weighted average for you math people out there of all our games, and we do the definitive top 100 lists. We do this by scrolling it like a movie scroll, like end credits, and we just talk about the games. We talk about 100 games in a row.
In 60 seconds. I'm just kidding, not
No.
really.
I think it's like 38 minutes.
Oh, what? I'm just kidding.
38 minutes of talking about games. The way we're going to do it this year, normally we just alternate, go back and forth, but it turns...
We're getting thinky bits now.
So it turns out that a lot of times we'll be talking about a game we don't really like. So this year we're going to try something different. Whoever likes the game the most is the one that's going to present the game. So
Thinking on our feet.
okay.
I'm ready.
First, I don't know how many, 60, 70 games. We only got, it's real fast, like 10 seconds each. Then it goes to 20 seconds, and then 30 seconds, and then at the end, I think it's 35 or 40 seconds for the last bit. So you get longer and longer time to talk about the games as time goes by.
You got all fancy this year.
That's what it was last year.
It was?
Yes.
I thought it was just 10 seconds flat, and we just
No.
zoomed.
No.
Wow, I have no memory of this place.
This year, I added a little the rankings from the previous 2 years, where they're ranked on this definitive list. The last 2 years. I put on the list. We've been doing this for 3 years. I just didn't have an easy source of the 2017 list. I'd have to actually watch our scroll and write all the games down because I couldn't find a file anywhere.
Only takes 38 minutes.
I don't have time for this stuff. So we got 2 years of rankings of the games.
Wow, we've done
from
this
previous
3 years then?
This is the 4th year we'll be doing this list.
Well, there you go. That answers your question, Gardner. Holy goodness. Gardner's like, I feel like...
Yeah, we do it every year about this time around March or so is when we usually do it. All right.
Cat peeps.
Without further to do.
Don't even. You did not.
Without further ado.
Last year was a time warp.
We're going to get started. So, give me
we're
1
ready.
second.
Oh, gosh.
Give me 1 second. We're going to kick
Rev up
it
the
right
engines.
off. There we go. Hold on.
Oh, no. I'm
So
ready.
switch over to
But I'm ready.
switch and get ready.
I'm ready.
We're going to be up in the corner.
Yes. Top 100 of all time, our combined list.
Yes.
You got
All right.
it. Let's do the time.
Let me get a little drink a bit, and
What?
we're going to get
Drinky bit.
started.
Let's do this.
All right. Here
Bring
we go.
Bring it.
Here we go. It's got a kind of a slow start. It's got to build the tension. Here we go.
We should have had some, theme music.
I thought about putting music in, but I would probably get distracted. So
You would get distracted by the music.
I didn't
for
put
real?
the music in.
Oh my goodness.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
I'm doing the music for you.
Are you?
Yes.
Let me...
I don't know what that was. It was like grocery store music or something. I don't know.
All right, Pit. Pit is a drafting game. It's real-time drafting where you're trading with other people as fast as you can, trying to get a set of cards, and then you ring a bell and make everyone mad. Pit.
Make everyone mad.
Because you ring the bell and they didn't.
Oh.
Sidereal Confluence. This is another real-time game. It's funny these are back-to-back. They're very similar. Sidereal is a much bigger game where you're trading cubes. You run those cubes through little machines, and you get other cubes. And you buy planets and other cool stuff.
Less throwing and shouting across the table, possibly. Bonfire! Stefan Feld's heavy new game that came out where you are building bonfires with gnomes, baby Yodas, and stuff.
Haven't played it yet. That's why it's ranked so low.
Yeah,
it'll go up next year.
Yep, definitely.
Brass Lancashire. I always say this wrong, and I got in trouble on Board Game Breakfast for saying this wrong. Lancashire. Anyway, it's the original Brass. It's a great game. Heavy Euro game. Pick up liver, kind of, sort of.
Yep.
Dominant Species. There's a brand new Dominant Species Marine that just came out. But this is the original Dominant Species from way back in the day. This is a heavy worker placement game that almost feels like a war game in terms of area control on the board.
Doing a lot of talking.
Mombasa, another heavy Euro game. This one is got a lot of things going on. It's kind of a mishmash. Basically, you're building these trading posts out on the board. What's interesting is you're not building your own trading posts. You're building various ones, and then you invest in those trading posts. It's me again.
Yes.
Yokohama. This is like if you ever played Istanbul. This is a heavier version of this, where you're trailing your workers across the board, taking worker placement actions. You're getting getting contracts, resource management, technologies, all sorts of crazy goodness.
Agricola, all creatures big and small. A 2-player only game that takes a bunch of the fun bits out of Agricola, condenses it into a really tight worker placement game, and is a lot of fun. No feeding your people. It's amazing. Banned Words. This party game that looks like a really naughty, some kind of adult game, but is anything but, where you have words that you're trying to avoid that the other team's thinking that you might use as clues. So you use really funky clues to try to get your team to guess the correct one.
It's you.
No, it's not. It's you. You're 94.
It's the higher number.
94.
You're 65, which is
You're 94. Oh, Bruges. It's a Stefan Feld game where you have cards that are multi-purpose and you do lots of things with them to gain victory points. Sorry, lower number.
Lower
All of a sudden
better.
I was like, you got a higher number.
Lower is better.
I'm tired. Timeline Challenge. This takes all of those great timeline games and makes a big board game out of it, where it's almost game show quality, where you're trying to beat other people into little mini games of timeline and different varieties.
Paladins West Kingdom. This is, I guess, the second in the West Kingdom trilogy. This one has worker placement, where you're drafting. You actually draft the workers at the beginning of the round and use those workers to take actions on your own player board. Paladins.
Tawantinsuyu is a, medium-heavy game by, is this a Turtzi again? Turtzi again. Oh my goodness. One of my faves of his, and time just blasted through trying to say his name.
Battlestar Galactica. This is a social deduction game, a big, heavy, long, massive social deduction game where it's mean, it's brutal, it's hard to survive, and you have traders in the midst as well. So it's based on the show.
Whatever, it's lots of fun. Power Grid. This is one of those games where you end up doing math the whole time, but somehow don't realize it and have lots of fun doing it as you are bidding for different resources and mathing out your little economy so that you can power up as many cities as possible for the victory. 5 tribes, or as we know, 5 tribes, where you have your first turn where you have literally thousands of options as you Mancala-esque your way through doing a bunch of different things, getting those pointsality little bits to get victory points.
1846. This is an 18xx train stock game. I used to love this. It used to be my favorite 18xx games, but I find I like the 1830 series of games better than this one, but it's still a great one. Maybe a heavier introductory game. Lords of Hellas. I love this game.
Rawr.
It's a big, meaty hybrid. You've got some Euro mechanics. It's got mechanisms. It's got attacky bits where you're going around on the map. You're trying to complete one of 4 different in-game objectives to win the game.
And ridiculous minis. Key Forge, the game of greatness where you get ridiculously named cards, all preset, ready for you to go. You just lay them out, battle them, trying to be the first one to lay out 3 key forges. To forge 3 keys. I can do this.
Key forges?
I can do your key forges, folks. Azul Stained Glass. This is the second of the Azul series and is beautiful. A slight variant on the original game where you are building now stained glass.
Tiebreakers go in the favor of Rebecca, someone asked. So number 80, Smartphone Inc. This is a economic Euro game where you're going out and you're basically fanning out into different markets. You're selling your commodities. But the cool thing is the action selection. You have 2 little like tablet looking things that you're putting on top of each other.
Yeah, Viscounts of the West Kingdom, my favorite of all of the kingdoms. And you go in, oh my gosh, this thing has so many different things that you can do. It's worker placement. Kind of. But I just absolutely love all the mechanisms and different variety of things you can do in the game. Roll for the Galaxy. This is where you take the dice and play a slightly tweaked version of Race for the Galaxy, and you get to do a bunch of different variety of things, buying planets and getting resources and trading them in for good bits. And then, of course, Race for the Galaxy, the card-based game that everybody loves, where you're buying technology, you're getting planets, and you're getting resources and building up to be the first one to race to the finish, get the stuff built, and then, therefore, have the most victory points from all of the things that you've created.
Food Chain Magnate, super heavy Eurogame splotter. It's nothing to look at, but it's a meaty, fun Eurogame, but very mean to other players. It can be pretty brutal.
Very heavy, too.
And if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get destroyed.
Wow. You're selling that one.
Play with someone who doesn't know as much. Reavers of Midgard. This is the so-called sequel to Champions of Midgard. This is more of a Euro-y game. You're doing some dice drafting. You're using those dice to take actions on the board. Less combat, more Euro. This is mine.
Okay.
Tricarion, another heavy Euro game. This one, you're doing magic tricks with glass and rocks and sticks. And Rebecca hates this game because it's not thematic. I love it. It is an awesome heavy Euro game, which is highly thematic.
Time's Up Title Recall, one of my favorite party games, where as a group you are trying to get your team to guess titles of famous movies and songs, and you're doing it in 3 different phases where you're doing less and less cues to be able to get people to guess. Detective, this is a medium heavy game where you're cooperatively working together to solve a series of crimes, and it is in-depth and amazing. I highly recommend this one if you want something that's very engaging and very immersive.
Rising Sun, this one's getting punished, punitated as they say, because we haven't had a chance to play this for a couple years. I think if I get a chance to play again, it'll rocket right up a bit. It's a big area control, Eric Lang beast.
Fighty goodness.
Someone asked, if you notice, I'll take a break from Target. You notice that sometimes there's games that I haven't played yet, and that's why they're low on the list. They'll pop up on the list next year.
Totally. Targi is a 2-player game that recently had a neat expansion. If you have not played that and you're a really big fan of Targi, I recommend it. It is a lot of fun. Mystic Veil, this is the one that has the unique card crafting ability where you're actually building your cards in a deck builder game. So it's a card and deck builder, and you get to do a bunch of stuff and do your card gaming goodness to get victory points, of course, and win the game.
That's funny. Tyrants of Underdark got pushed off the edge. That makes me sad.
That does make you sad.
It's my number 38. You can't see it. Towers of Underdark. It's an area control game, deck building, area control. It's a really cool game.
It is cool. It's actually really good and very thematic.
Brass Birmingham. This is the younger brother to Brass Lancashire. That it's rocketed up to number 3 on Board Game Geek. It's an awesome heavy Euro game. Got a little bit more gaminess, a little bit heavier than the original Brass.
Star Realms, one of my favorite little tiny go-to carry portable games. It is a little deck builder where you're getting spaceships of different factions and stuff, and then quickly pulling them out, buying stuff, beating up the bad guy, and whoever ends up losing all their hit points first loses, of course.
Dune. This is an awesome, super mega thematic area control game where you play one of 6 different factions of Dune. You're going out and you're trying to control certain areas of the board. You're having alliances. You're breaking alliances. Your betrayal, backstabbing. Greatness.
Glenmore 2, this surprising hit for me where it's very heavy and you're going in and working on your fields, building it up and processing it. And I love the mechanism of the game where you're running around and kind of hopscotch your way around the board. Very fun.
Pandemic Legacy Season 1, and again, it fell off the stupid edge of the board. I don't know what number it is for me. I don't even know where we're at.
Don't worry about it. I'll look it up.
But anyway, the Legacy game is one of my favorite Legacy games. It's going to drop off the list because I don't think we're going to do Legacy games as top 100s next year.
Your list is different than mine. It says 63. 62, Yamatai, one of the prettiest games that we own. I absolutely love this one where you're taking little different colored boats, moving your way around these islands and either getting things from the boats or off of the islands as you're moving around them. And you have Arkwright.
Arkwright, mega heavy Euro economic game. In fact, this should be Economic 101. It should be something you do while you take that course in college. It's awesome. Yep. Pandemic Legacy 34. 34 was
gotcha.
34.
Gotcha.
1889. This is the first of the ones in the 1830 series of 18XX games. My favorite type of 18XX. This one is notorious for I had epic betrayal in this game.
Next one's yours too, it looks like.
Caverna, the Cave Farmers. One of the heavy Euro games from Uwe. Uwe Rosenberg. It's raising animals, doing a little bit of mining on the side, feed your people, and send dwarves out to fight battles. Awesome.
Through the Ages, a very heavy, mostly Euro game where you are doing the civilization building, keeping your people happy, growing your population and your culture and your government. All of these things, you can have it in different variations, whether it's attacky or not attacky. Orleans Stories. This is where they tried to tweak up Orleans to great detriment to everyone, except for me, apparently, in the universe. Everyone hates this one. It gives a little bit of a drive and a direction for how you should play the game, going through some different things. Century Games, all of them, all the things. This is a fantastic set of games that you can play all together with two or just one by itself. A lot of variety, a lot of variability of play. Easy to teach. Awesome. Illustrations, awesome, hilarious family game where you have a flip book and you are playing telephone with pictures and you guess what it is, pass it, write down what you think it is, and you keep passing it until everyone's gone around the table. The more the merrier. Really fun game. Merchants and Marauders. This is the sandbox piratey game of greatness where you are around becoming crazy scurvy pirate, trying to be an honest merchant, maybe floating around somewhere in between the two, making friends and enemies of different countries. Pretty good. This is you.
I have networks higher than you? That can't be right.
Well, it is. Go.
No, it's
Go.
You. It's you.
You mistyped?
Those are backwards.
Aha! The networks, where you are making the best network with the best shows possible. Way to kill my time. Pursuit of Happiness. This is the game of life for gamers. If you want to keep playing that game and have great memories, you get to build up your life and your job and your hobbies and all these different things. Join communities. Be part of a crime ring. It doesn't matter. It's fun.
Age of Empires 3, Age of Discovery. That's the original version of the game. Now it's called Empires Age of Discovery. An awesome worker placement game with area control, set collection, all kinds of great, cool game. It's a really cool game. I love it. It's awesome. It's great.
I like the chocolate
awesome.
boats.
Chocolate boats. I don't know if there's chocolate boats in the new game.
Oh, that's sad, because they should have chocolate
boats.
We
made it halfway, sweetie.
Woo! You did not. You did not.
So Networks was my 87, Rebecca's 38. They were swapped. They were swapped.
That makes more sense here. So the math, why is the math not working for you, Nick? Is it melting your brain?
All right, so the number 50, 1830. Like I said, 1830 is my favorite type of 18XX game. This is the original, the one that started the series. There's about, I'd say, 8 or 9 or maybe more games that are based on this game. This is the original, and I enjoy it quite a bit.
That's a lot. Hey, this is you too.
No.
Yeah, it is.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Underwater Cities. So this is a cool game where you're basically civilization has messed up the world, but so you're building cities underwater to survive. You're building little domes. You're doing resource management. You're upgrading your different areas. You're spanning out the board, and eventually you connect up with the real world and do cool things.
Dominion, the granddaddy of all the deck builders. This one has crazy high replayability because, of course, I included all the games, and you can combine them and mix and match and do all sorts of crazy things with them. It is the numero uno of all the good deck builders. I have spoken.
Is it? It's not the numero uno. You have higher ranked ones. Hey, Lorenzo Il Magnifico. This is the 90-minute sweet spot. What I consider a midweight, probably mid to heavy Euro game. It's got some card management. You got worker placement with dice. Basically, you roll the dice. Everyone their community dice, and you do worker placement actions with those dice.
Sweet. Wow,
Ascendancy, the mega punitated of punitation of death. It was 4 in 2019, 5 in 2018. It dropped all the way to 46 because reasons. It is an awesome Star Trek game. Reasons. It's kind of a macro pulled off like fleet battle type
thingy stuff.
Star Trek game. And stuff. And things.
Lots of things. Castles of Tuscany.
Haven't played this one yet.
Woo! This one is the newest. One of the newest.
One of the newest.
I was going to say Bonfire or Tuscany, one of those. But this is a nice, probably for us, our new, as we would say, the welcoming game for Stefan Feld. Absolutely love it. Variety play. It's like a smooth, cool version of Castles.
Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea. I always call it Land, Sea, and Air for whatever reason. This is one of my favorite kind of 18XX style games. It has all, you basically start out, it's kind of like a real-time strategy game, video game. You start out and you kind of fan out, you take over areas, you get resources, you upgrade your troops, get them more powerful, get special abilities, and you kill the other players.
Mercator. This is a game that I'm just addicted to. Yes, I know it's basically cube pushing around and stuff as you move a little dude around a map, but you're trying to consolidate your goods and fulfill contracts and different things within a fairly tight time frame. Really good choices. A lot of fun. I really enjoy Mercator.
Raccoon Tycoon. This is what I would consider the welcoming game to the stock market type games, where you have resources. Basically, it's a stock market with resources. You buy and sell resources, sell high, buy low. Use those to fill different contracts, get railroads and towns and special buildings and things like that for victory points.
That's very good. Awkward guests. Oh my goodness. This is how I always wanted Clue to be. This is like the best version of Clue possible. You're going through and trying to figure out the whodunit, and everyone's got their own little clues and information from police reports or hearsay from the maid and all the sorts of things, and you're trading these cards, trying to eliminate all the different possibilities, of which it's much more complicated than Clue. A lot of fun. Recommended a lot. Nick, we will explain how Hunter did the math on that later.
Yes, we'll explain the laugh at the end. Or I think we have a break at some point and we'll explain it.
Maybe. Castles of Mad King Ludwig. You get these crazy, wacky rooms of all different shapes and sizes, and you get to build your own mad castle. And the rooms are based off of what things give you bonuses or detriments, as they are neighboring other rooms. Totally oodles of fun.
Last Road at Uwe Rosenberg, kind of almost a lighter or at Labora game. This one plays really, really quickly comparatively. It's a lot of resource management. You're building out your area. You start out with a bunch of undeveloped places. You're building buildings and getting all kinds of points and resources. Champions of Midgard, one of my all-time favorite game, my number 8 game of all time. I love it. It is dice. You're attacking with dice, worker placement with dice. So you're recruiting all these workers. You use their dice. You use those to go out on missions and kill big giant monsters for victory points and resources and greatness and glory. Of course,
Ooh,
glory.
Always.
This is yours.
No, it's not. You're 43.
Oh yeah, I thought you were higher on this one for some reason. Calling us. It is the epic strategy game, as you see on the title of the game. It is massive. It takes place over 3 eras. Each era takes 2 to 3 hours to do.
It's 4 eras.
It's 4 eras. So if you play all the eras, it takes you all day long. We've never done it. Someday we're gonna play it all. 18 Chesapeake, my favorite 18XX game. It is the lighter version of 1830. It was what I consider the new welcoming game to 18X. This is someone wants to learn. This is the game I would use to teach them how to play an 18XX game. Plays well 2 players as well.
Yes,
which
it
most
does.
18XX do not play well 2 players.
Ooh, Castles of Burgundy, the one I was referencing earlier when we were talking about Castles of Tuscany. This is the original, the OG. And this is the one where you have some little tiles and you're building out your little kingdom with all these different things. And as you fill them up, you get the victory points. It's Feld, it's point salad. There's several different little ways you can get victory points. Great welcoming game to Feld after the Castles of Tuscany.
City of the Big Shoulders, my second favorite game of all time. It almost made number 1, but it didn't quite get there. It is a heavy Euro game. Basically, you take an 18XX game, take the trains and the tracks out, and keep the heavy Euro part of that game in the stock market, and you got City of the Big Shoulders.
Boom.
And that is the last game that only appears on one of our lists. So that's what it says right there. Le Havre. Le Havre is my favorite Uwe Rosenberg game. This one you are building buildings. You use those buildings as worker placement spots. So you start with just a few buildings you use. As time goes by, you get more and more buildings. You're getting resources to feed your people and get victory points.
Woo-woo.
Western Legends.
Yeehaw.
One of my favorite, not my favorite, one of my favorite 18XX games. It might be my favorite. I don't know. One of my favorite 18XX games. Not 18XX. Sandbox games. One of my favorite sandbox games.
I had a different
You're a cowboy, you're going out and
did.
you're rustling cattle, you're fighting bandits, you're robbing the banks, you're going to the saloon, you're playing poker, all for victory points.
That's right. That's right.
Or
partner.
at Labora, we talked about Glass Road a little bit back. This is the big, heavier version. They have a similar feel to me. You're basically doing resource management. You're building buildings. You're building out your areas with cards. You're basically your buildings. And you get points based on relative placement of the different cards in relation to each other.
Is that the sign for relation? Ooh, this is mine by a teeny bit wingspan. It kind of goes without saying anymore. The absolutely beautiful Audubon Society style art, these gorgeous, amazing birds of all these different parts of the world, and you're building up your little tableau that hopefully you'll have a chain to get you the resources and things to start building up all these mad different varieties. It's kind of a point salad style game of getting victory points. And again, it's all about the birds. Hey, Macau! I love this one. This is another Feld game where you have kind of a 2-part board. On one of them, you're getting a bunch of resources and building kind of the longest road. And the other one, you're sailing around the place and selling all the cool stuff you got on the map. A lot of fun. Holy good goodness, I get another one. It's Coimbra! I feel like a salesperson or something.
A long time. That's why
this is like dice.
It's going to be a while.
You're taking dice, and when you get on the dice, you get to move around and do a bunch of different little bits with it. I like the unique gameplay with that. It kind of started a whole trend of doing more with dice placement and whatnot, and I really love working through the map because you get a bunch of different resources and stuff. Res Arcana, this is like one of my favorite games, period. This game is so much fun. It's another deck builder, sort of, and resource management for sure, and you're going through and trying to build this up so you can get some of these really big cards and stuff that give you massive victory points at the end of the game. It is so good. You taking a nap over there? Concordia, what's with all the Latin names? All right, this one is the quintessential trading in the Mediterranean worker placement game. You're moving around, getting different resources and laying down your little trader shop things or whatever they call them so that you can get your resource chain going and get those resources going, of course, so that you can build up and you have different people you're buying and stuff to get victory points, of course. Pillars of the Earth, another awesome worker placement game. Beautiful board. Has a unique version of setting up how you're going to have your first player and stuff throughout the round. You get your resources and work on that first, and then you go around and do the stuff in order. Absolutely beautiful game. At the end, you have a little church in the middle. Istanbul, not Constantinople. This one has a nice little modular board you change up every time, and so it's unique to every time you play it, potentially, if you want to do it that way. And you move around and you get resources, and this one's another one where rubies are all these victory points, and you want to be the first one to get the most of them, but there's different ways that you have to go get them. Pretty cool.
Great Western Trail. This is what some would consider a deck builder. Deck building is a small piece of this game. You start with a bunch of crappy cows. Through the process of the game, you upgrade your deck hand of cows into really cool, better cows. Take those cows to market. You sell them for cash. Turn that cash into the victory points.
Woo woo. Like that, you gonna lasso him?
Yes.
Trajan. Another heavy feld where you are doing not only your point salad, but it's kind of game salad. You're going around and you have a bunch of mini games that you have to do because you're juggling all the nonsense you have to do when you're controlling an empire. So do that, become the best emperor ever. Try to get your victory points all gathered together through the various things and win the game.
Oracle Delphi. This is kind of it's a Stefan Feld game, but it doesn't feel like a Stefan Feld game. It's actually a race. You're racing to complete 12 tasks. You're going all over the board, doing different missions. First one to complete 12 missions and get back to Zeus in the center of the board wins the game.
That's always a really tight game,
No points in this game. No points in a Feld game.
Yeah, it's all or nothing. It's crazy.
Just so you know, Western Legends is a sandbox game, not an 18x6 game.
I was so confused. I was like,
I was too.
Don't remember this experience. Empires of the Void 2. Oh my gosh, this is a game I want to turn around and just like want to play. Shush, I'm on a roll. I'm excited about Empires of the Void.
I just say we have more time.
Good.
We're in the top 20. We have more time.
It's in space. You're moving around in space, kind of 4X-ish style. I don't know if it's real heavy on the 4X, but it comes close. 3.5X maybe. But oh man, absolutely beautiful. I love the way this game flows, and I have a feeling we'll be able to jump back into it pretty quickly. Amerigo, one of my favorite gimmicky Felds, period. Because he doesn't really do a lot of gimmicks anyway. Mm-hmm. But he's got this crazy cube tower, and whatever comes out of that, depending on the number and what kind of cubes it is, depends on what kind of actions that you're going to be able to do. You also have to balance out your cube usage throughout the rounds, because you have a little rondelle thingy that is moving and controlling how much you're going to be able to use each turn as you're going around doing your usual point salad-y things. It's kind of cool because you got a little boat going around different islands as you're trying to colonize and cover up with Tetris-y pieces and stuff. Super fun. Absolutely love it. Oh, 1 point away. Really?
1 point.
Vinos,
you're doing all the work.
Heavy Lacerda.
I didn't intentionally do this.
Lacerda's heavy. That's kind of associated with it. Heavy Euro. Vinos is viticulture on crack. Okay, this is taking all of those things and you're getting different regions and you're growing your crops, and then you decide if you're going to sell off your wines, take them to like a fair, you get judged. You're going to go ahead and sell some. There's all this stuff going on, but it's in that elegant, deceptively simple turn order style situation that Lacerda seems to be magically good at. It's so amazing. Crown of Amara is this really fun worker placement game that's basically 2 boards. You have one that's a resource management area where you're collecting resources and trying to multiply that and build up a little engine. And then the other one is you're going around and taking all those bits that you earned on the one side and spending them to get a bunch of varieties of crowns and victory points and all this kind of stuff. Really, really smooth. Surprisingly smooth game. People that have played that like to play that over and over and over. Yido. This is a heavy game. that is set in Japan, obviously, but what you're doing is you're samurai, or ninjas. No, you're ninjas, right?
Samurai, I think.
No, you're samurai. The
know.
ninjas. I can't remember.
I don't know.
But anyway, you're sneaking around and you're accomplishing different missions. That makes me think ninjas.
Yes,
But,
probably ninjas. Probably ninjas.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm pretty sure, 99% sure you're ninjas because you have to hide from samurai. I think in this, you're accomplishing different missions, and the different missions require different objects and different things for you to do depending on the difficulty. Super good game.
On Mars, my favorite Lacerda game, the newest Lacerda game. We love this one. I think we love the theme. We love sci-fi. We love the whole Mars exploring thing. It is if you enjoy Lacerda games, you should try this one out. It's probably on the heavier end, and the Lacerdas are heavy to start with. This is even a heavier one. You have actually 2 worker placement spots. You have one that's kind of up on the space station where you do a lot of your administrative type tasks, and then there's one section on the other side where you go down and you actually do stuff on the planet. You're building buildings and all sorts of stuff.
Gaia Project, another heavy game that just blows my mind. This is one of my favorite games. This is all about the tech tree, but it's all set in space, and you're building up, and you're trying to go out and explore different planets and create your own federations. But that's kind of like the stage setting for playing around with this really cool tech track. And there's where the heavy Euro engine builder goes into play, and you spend so much time focusing on that, and it helps enable you to go about the business of exploring the galaxy.
Another
Super
space
fun.
game.
Ooh, and terraforming Mars. We have a Mars theme in this house apparently lately. Yep. This one is card-based engine building. You got a cool little player mat where you build up different engines on getting resources and things together as you are actually terraforming Mars. The cards are pretty fun and thematic. There's a billion different expansions for this that you can pick and choose at your leisure. The base game is amazing too. He has spoken.
Preludes is the best expansion.
It is really good. This is still a good game.
Number 12, Scythe. This is another one of my all-time. All these are going to be my all-time favorites.
Yeah, because they're so good.
And it's another hybrid game. It's kind of got a action selection system where you upgrade your actions. You're also upgrading your mechs. Basically, you're going out and exploring areas. You're fanning out. You're collecting resources. Use those resources to complete objectives. You're trying to race to get a certain number of objectives done, which give you a lot of points. But at the end of the game, you actually score your points. So the one that gets the most objectives doesn't necessarily win. It's the one that gets the most victory points at the end of the game. Who makes the most money at the end of the game?
The little stars. You have to get rid of your stars.
Yes, you have to do stars. Twilight Imperium, my third favorite game of all time. Another space game. We love our space games. This one is epic. Remember back in the colonist days? That was an epic Euro. This is an epic attacky game where you're going out and it's 4X. You're going out exploring areas. You're attacking other players. You're taking control of the planets. You're completing objectives. But this one's a race game. Race game where you're trying to get a certain number of points. You can kind of vary the points depending on how long you want the game to be. First one to score those points, and there's a tiebreaker potentially if you score them at the same time, wins the game at the end. It's awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Awesome.
So we're into the top 10, folks.
What?
The top 10.
Do-do-do-do. Hey.
Top 10 time.
What is this?
It says top.
What's creeping? It's going...
Because we're talking about these we got a while to talk about each one of these. Because these are our all-time favorite games. Some of these are surprising. Some of them are not surprising.
You know what? I was looking at this before we started, and I was like, this is a good top 10. I would not snub my nose at... Actually, this list is pretty good. I'm not going to lie. This is a good top 100. I'm like, this is a list that I would be like, yeah, I'd play any of these games in a heartbeat. Even though I know it's combined. Towards the bottom there's some that...
Someone was noticing you were doing a lot more of these than me. I think, I'm curious, I want to count. Maybe unless you get the show next time.
We'll see.
I think you've done like 60 of them to my 40.
Yeah. No.
Core Worlds is yours.
Core Worlds. Another deck builder set in space. And this time you've got air troops and land troops, spaceships and space dudes on whatever. Anyway, so you're building them up and they use different combinations of those to go and attack a bunch of different worlds and take over them. And the end goal in sight is to get some of these core, hopefully at least one of the big core worlds that are worth a ridiculous amount of victory points. Hopefully you're getting some of the smaller planets and building up a good little engine with some smaller victory points on the way. Orléans, the original. The one that everyone likes as opposed to Orléans stories. This one is the bag builder. Yes, I know. This is the bag builder where you have some people and you kind of do a worker placement with them and you're going around and doing different things. And again, it's a pointality, moving your people up on these different scales to get victory points on several different tracks. And they also give you benefits as you go farther along certain tracks and whatnot. having people do different duties. Each person has their own unique abilities. It's a really fun game. Love it.
Zaya, another sandbox game. I got it right this time. Sandbox games. We saw Merchant Marauders as pirates and Western Legends as cowboys. And this one in space, because we love space. So you basically are going out, you're basically attacking other players, you're building up ships, you're going on missions, you're exploring, you're mining, you're flying into the sun and exploding, you're doing all sorts of cool 18xx things. It's another race
18xx things?
What am I saying? 18xx! Sandboxy things. Man, I got 18xx.
He's got it on the brain.
So it's another race where you're trying to score enough legacy points to win the game. So it's a race to collect those points.
Clank! It's not me.
Oh, it's me. This actually is an asterisk. It shouldn't have been on Rebecca's list by her rules, but she put it on the list last year.
No, we talked about this. It went over the border of both years, so it is legit. Why do we always argue over this? Mr. 18XX. This is the best 18XX game ever.
It's our favorite legacy game of all time. We love this game. It is so funny. It is so thematic. It's so exciting. If you like Clank, you owe it to yourself to play this game.
Absolutely.
You will have a blast.
Dinosaur Island. Oh my goodness. Jurassic Park in a box. You're finding DNA and you're cloning it and stuff, and then you build dinosaurs. And then you're like, hey, let's make a theme park out of this. And then there's some nasty hooligans that don't pay and they sneak in. And of course, if the dinosaurs rampage and they beat your security, then they're not going to eat the stupid hooligans because they're already good at jumping fences and they kill the people that were actually nice paying customers. Hopefully, you don't have that happen too much. But you have great different little plastic dinosaurs. There's expansions that add like sea dinosaurs and creatures and stuff, and it's just so much fun. Deception Murder in Hong Kong.
18xx game.
This is a fantastic 18xx game. This is social deduction at its finest. This is another one of those that's the more the merrier. You have 2 rows of different things, items left at the scene, and murder weapons, and you're choosing things in front of you, and people are debating whether or not you were the one that did it. And again, you have different roles to play, just like you would in Werewolf. Super fun game. Lots of great discussions and arguments always ensue from this game. Absolutely love it. Always pretty successful. And it does have an expansion as well, and several different extra cards that you can do.
Anachrony, an awesome heavy worker placement game. This one's really cool. You're basically going out in little mechs going out to the capital city, which is kind of dangerous to travel there, so you have to travel in a mech to do all kinds of worker placement things.
Space.
But you also will be able to build buildings into your own little area, which you don't need mechs to travel to, but you're recruiting all these different scientists that have specific abilities, and then you have the genius person who can do the abilities of everyone. All sorts of cool worker placement games. You're trying to complete an objective before the comet crashes down and destroys the planet. You have to get out of Dodge before it blows up.
I didn't realize Turksy did this game. I had no idea.
Yes.
Whoa. Okay, Star Trek Fleet Captains, Live Long and Prosper. This is the one where you've got the cool little clicky, all of a sudden my brain just went blip.
HeroClix.
HeroClix, thank you. Spaceships, but Star Trek ships. And you have the different factions, and of course you can play the Romulans and the Klingons and all these different races, and you're going around and you're flipping over the board as you explore. Fancy that. You have cloaking devices. You go in and there's different episodes from the different series that you're encountering as you explore the different planets. Oh my goodness, so much fun. You can also set how long you want to play the game by how large your galaxy is that you build initially. Lot of fun. Viticulture, my number 1 game of all time, still really high up on Hunter's list. This is worker placement game. You got your little grapes, and you have 4 seasons, and each season you place your workers in different things. There's also expansions and special meeples that let you do different things that kind of break the rules and superpowers. You have a grande worker if you're just playing the base game that lets you kind of go somewhere where you normally wouldn't be allowed to go. And meanwhile, you're trying to fulfill all these wine orders and sell your wines and get the most victory points before everyone else. It's crazy. Crazy fun.
It's back, baby. It's back! Number 1! My number 1 game of all time. Rebecca came back to her senses and put it back up in her top 10. It is awesome. This is the best game ever made, in my opinion. It is crazy thematic, one of the most thematic games I've ever played. It is Lord of the Rings, the series in a box, but you get to write the story however you want. You can have Gandalf lead them all the way almost to the crack of doom, or you can do all sorts of things. You can spread everyone out all over the country. It is an area control war-ish game with multi-use cards, card-driven, dice-driven, all kinds of crazy, wonderful things. And that's it.
I think last time you did disperse your people too. You were like, Fellowship broke up.
Yeah, last time we played, I just fanned my people out.
Because you knew I was like super attacky.
I was like, I will kill all the people all over the board. There you go. Woo! Let's see if this button works. Woo! That didn't work because I have to hit transition.
Oh, hey.
Boom. And here we are. We're back. So the biggest question I saw throughout this was, how does the points work? I completely forgot to say how. I said a weighted average, but I didn't go into detail what I meant by that. So what I do is I take Rebecca's list and my list. Her number one game gets 100 points. My number one game gets 100 points. And we go all the way down to our 100, which only gets 1 point. So you 199, 98, all the way down to 1. So each of our hundreds only get 1 point. You take our two points for our two games and put them together and rank them from highest to lowest to highest, however you want to look at it. Whoever has the most points wins. So, for example, War of the Ring was my number 1 and Rebecca's number 9. I gave it 100 points for me and 92 points from Rebecca, which is 192 points, which was the highest total.
That's cool. Next
up is Viticulture. It's Rebecca's number 1, so it got 100 points for that. But it's my 13, so it got 88 points. Add those together, 188. So 192, 188, and just on down the list.
Cool. So that makes more sense. And then, by the way, if you're watching this after the fact, too, you need to check out the chat because I know Nathan and I think some other people were throwing out games. They made kind of like a mini top list as well. It's been some good games, mentioned Peeps. It's pretty interesting. And I thought I saw another question.
Yeah, if you have any questions, we'll take questions for just a little while. But we're going to head out here shortly.
Yeah, dang it, I can't remember. Oh, I see a lot of people saying, oh, I'm ordering this and that. And I feel it's funny because as people are like, yeah, last year kind of threw everybody off on their game. Like, yeah, be it purchasing or being able to get games or anything, right? There was a lot of just
a lot craziness. Of our games that required 3 or more players dropped.
Definitely got punished.
For the most part. Unless we were just sure that we love this game so much that we didn't punish it. But like games like Rising Sun dropped. Lots of party games dropped quite a bit for us. It's just because we didn't have a chance to play those.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, while you guys are thinking of any questions.
There's a question. Okay. Did you get the Merlin Big Box? It took a while to put together, but so organized out.
No, we didn't get the Merlin Big Box because we found ourselves not playing Merlin as much. And we actually played the expansion that came with the game, and we enjoyed the base game more than we did with the expansion. So we didn't feel like we needed to add a different expansion to make it. We enjoyed the game as it is without adding anything. That's the only reason I didn't get it. If I loved the game and we played the expansion that came with Merlin, our version of Merlin came with expansion. I don't know if everyone's did. But we played the expansion. We did not like the expansion. So we just played the base game. So we didn't feel to add more.
Yeah, that's something too. Zaris is mentioning, playing a lot of games with Tabletopia and stuff like that. And a lot of the games that you really enjoy that's been really nice is there's usually an online version for a lot of games. It seems like it's growing all the time, which has been really neat option. I still prefer having the real board and being able to play, but since sometimes that's obviously not an option right now and stuff, that's been really cool to have that and to be able to play, that's something in the future to think about too, is to be able to play with friends that live far away. Just to be able to do that now, it's so much more commonplace to see that. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So there's several people that saying certain games were ranked too low. Almost universally, all the ones that they said were ranked too low were games that Rebecca played that I hadn't played when I made my list. We make our lists about 2 or 3 months apart. So any new games we played between the time I made my list and the time she made her list,
a weird gap.
Is only getting points from her. You're getting no points from me, so that pushes them down the list. So Viscounts and Bonfire, and I can't think of a few other games that she.
But there are several. Yeah, that might be why too. Some of you noticed that I was saying some more about some of the games. It's probably because of those games too.
Right. There was probably, I would say, 6 to 10 games that were new that made the list. That she's only one that played those games.
Okay, I got some questions now. Did y'all get Sleeping Gods?
No, because we didn't like Near and Far, and it looks like it's Near and Far on steroids.
Yeah.
So we didn't get it.
Yeah, Knights of the Round Table adds player powers. Is that the one? Sorrow Song's asking.
No, it's the one that comes in the box. It's over behind. It's way over there.
Oh, sorry.
It's the expansion that comes in the box. I can't remember. It's something like King's Favors or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was.
It sounds right, yeah.
Someone asked about Stardew Valley.
Oh, yeah.
Nessa watched about 5 minutes of the review for Stardew Valley and said nope. And so we're probably not going to get it because she's probably the biggest Stardew Valley fan in the house. Maybe Rebecca.
No, I probably am, but we've all been...
We would only play that with Nessa probably, I would think. So we didn't get it.
Yeah. That's a bummer. Which game was the highest jump from last year? Jump up or down? Jump up, jump up,
jump down. Was Star Trek Ascendancy.
Yeah.
Jump up, I'm not certain. I'm not certain.
Probably one that reappeared on my list, right?
Not certain. I would say maybe.
I
don't know. I couldn't. I'd be just a complete guess. I just know Ascendancy's the one that dropped the most.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Because Rebecca took it completely off her list. So it dropped like almost 50 places.
Let's see. Favorite game of 2021 so far?
Favorite game? Let's look.
I'm trying to remember which ones are what. You're going to have to...
We only have a handful. We've only played 5 or 6. For me, it's probably... is Merv 2021? Or is that 2020? I don't know.
Ooh, I don't know which ones of those are 2021.
Praga is 2021, I think.
Okay, that one was fun.
Maybe? I don't know.
I did enjoy Praga a lot.
I'm not sure what's 2021, so...
Yeah. Make a list.
Yeah.
Make a list.
That's an interesting question. So
okay.
Check the chat, and I'll look real quick on a Board Game Geek, and I'll tell you what's our favorite one so far.
Did you join the official Dice Tower Guild on Board Game Arena?
No, I don't. We don't do the online board gaming. For whatever, I didn't. I've done it a couple of times, and only one I like that I've played is 18xx games. I'm not big on clicking and moving. Like you click a card and you move it over here and you put it on the board, and you click a card and flip it over. You have to look at your card. It's just too much clicking for me. And I want it more automated. I like apps better than I do the online ones.
I gotcha.
If that makes sense.
I gotcha. More like Star Trek Descendancy, am I right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I like that. That was funny.
Plummeted.
That's funny. Let's see. Sarsong says Queenies are meh. The actual expansions are good on Realm, by the way. That's good to know. That's good to know.
I can see that.
Let's see here.
So,
what game are you most excited to play next? Ooh.
So, official 2021 releases, we have
game?
played none. We played none.
Oh, of the 2021s? Oh, yeah, that's all 2020 stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm pulling it up, and there's nothing.
We're not that cold to the new.
We're definitely not.
We're only cold to the sort of new.
Yeah, we haven't played any 2021 games. What are some big ones? Sleeping Gods. What else is out? Sleeping Gods.
Oh, Darwin's Journey. That was one that
it's not out yet.
Oh, okay.
Furnace. We haven't played that. I'm interested in Furnace.
Yeah.
What else is out?
Onk. What?
Onk's not out.
Oh.
Most of these aren't out yet. Yeah, I don't.
Bummer.
There's only a handful that are out. We haven't played that. We haven't played Flourish. But there will be a lot coming. I mean, there's a lot of Kickstarters that hopefully are going to get fulfilled this year, and I'm excited about those. What game am I most excited about playing next?
I said a party game.
A party game?
Besides the obvious.
If I have, is this like we're actually going to play next, or that we had the perfect situation and the perfect player count?
Hallertau is 2021?
No, it's 2020. It came out.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, if so, that's a good game.
It might be considered 2021. It came out in end of 2020.
That game was amazing.
If I have perfect conditions, perfect situation, Rising Sun is the game I want to play the most next.
Oh man, yeah. If it's like player counts and all that stuff, and all the difficulties aside,
games that we can actually play that I most want to play next.
Right now,
I want to play Dwellings of Elderville again.
That was pretty fun.
I want to play that again. She didn't like it as much as I did.
We'll
talk about that next week.
It's good. I would play it again. Oh man, that's really tough. If it's just like for us right now, I kind of want to play some of these new ones again. Like I've been driving Hunter crazy with the replays, but like I want to play Red Cathedral again, and I want to play Res Arcana again because I always want to play Res Arcana. And then I want to play Tekkenu again, and I want to play Viticulture again, and Yes, I know. Hollow Tower. I play Hollow Tower again too.
Our Shelf of Shame's almost empty. But so
hey, hello, Brazilian audience.
So we're going to go ahead and we'll transition to next week. Next week we're doing our variety show where we do a variety of things. We'll talk about new games we played, what games we played since last we talked. We're going to have some extra time, so we're going to do some other things. We may do a live play of something. I'm not sure yet, but there's that. And then 1 week from then, so next week is the variety show. 1 week, 2 weeks from tonight, we're going to do a kind of a state of the channel, kind of a town hall kind of thing where we discuss things. I got some ideas I want to talk about. There's some cool stuff that we're going to be talking about, so try to show up for that, especially for you big fans of the channel. It's probably a good thing because you get to. I'm going to be asking people's opinions on different things and changes and potential changes and things like that. So come back 2 weeks from tonight for that. But next week we're going to just do our.
We got to do some shenanigans. We haven't had shenanigans.
Yeah, last time we
had to talk about games for 27 years.
We played so many games.
Hey, Bookie.
We played so many games that all we did was talk about games the whole time.
Which, so is kind of the purpose of the channel.
We played like something like 20-something, 22 or 23 games, so we spent like 2 or 3 minutes talking about each one of those games, and that was the whole show.
Dude, Xeris' birthday's next week. We'll have to celebrate. Woo! Shenanigans for Xeris.
Xeris, talk to Tommy and let's get an 18xx game.
Yes!
Let's play Chesapeake or 1830 or something. If you're interested in doing that, that'd be fun.
That'd be awesome. Party. Oh, I saw something. Oh, Dwellings of Elder Vale. Yes, we did get it.
We'll be talking about it next week, so yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it next week. I was going to show it off because I was like, there it is.
I absolutely, spoilers for next week, I absolutely loved it. It's top 20, almost for sure, potentially top 10 for me. I loved it. It is epic production, smooth gameplay, interesting gameplay.
Yes.
It's a hybrid game, which I love hybrid games. She doesn't love them as much, so she didn't like it as much as I did. But if you love hybrid games like Scythe and Blood Rage and things like that, this is your kind of game.
No, it was good. It was good. I would happily play it again with you. You make it sound like I'm like,
we are going to play it again. So we're going to play it 16 times so I can play every faction.
Okay.
In a row.
Are you going to take the week off for this?
No.
Darn it. I keep trying to convince him that we're just going to have like a gaming marathon, whatever it takes.
Yeah, if you didn't notice from the top 100, but maybe from our individual lists, our tastes in games are kind of starting to spread a little bit. We used to have lots of our Venn diagram was is that what it's called in the circles?
Yes, that's the Venn.
It used to be like almost completely covered like that. But now we're more like this, I think. We're more,
more like a true Venn.
We're more like this kind of thing. Because she's not liking the attacking games as much. I mean, she'll play them, she enjoys them, but she doesn't like them as much. Yeah. And I'm finding I like the games that have combat more and more. So the top of my list is becoming attacking games and hybrids.
Yeah.
And the top of her list is more worker placement, deck building, and things like that.
And Euros and stuff, yep. But we're still Omni gamers in that sense. But
yeah, I mean, I'll play almost any game. Except for cooperative.
I'll play cooperative with you guys.
More spoiling for next week.
Oh, yeah.
I actually bought a cooperative game for
us
to
was
play.
So shocked when I pulled this out of the box, you guys.
I bought a cooperative game.
We should have filmed that.
In fact,
I didn't
how long
believe
does this game take to play?
What do you mean?
We may play this live next time. How long is it? I have no idea. Tell me how long this game is. Game?
Let me read.
60 minutes, so we may not play it. Maybe too long. Maybe too long. Maybe too long. We'll see. But we'll talk about live plays more on this town hall in 2 weeks. All right.
I was trying to see if there was anything else.
Anything else? Last minute question.
I know, a co-op game, right?
I said, oh, the horror.
I know. I like it.
I play cooperatives occasionally. I like a few cooperative games.
There will be shenanigans, Xeris.
I tend to like cooperative games where
took you about an hour. Okay.
Where you each person kind of does their own thing, and you can't really. If you can play the cooperative game solo, I don't like it as much as if it's not as good. If it's played just as well solo as it does not solo, That's not my kind of game. I really want people doing different things, maybe have their own information that maybe not everyone knows, that sort of thing, where you kind of, I can't say, you need to do this, this, and this, because I know the entire board state, I know all your cards, I know everything that's happening. I prefer where I have my role and I have some information that is unique to me and maybe the whole team doesn't know, that lets me.
So you want to avoid the alpha gamer?
Well, not necessarily alpha gamer. I just want to feel like I'm contributing more than if the smartest person at the table is the best person to play the game, and they can run the game and tell you exactly what to do.
Then what's the point?
I don't like games like that.
No,
so like Spirit Island, that gives me that kind of feel. Spirit Island gives me that feel.
I think that was just because I stunk at playing it. We should play it again.
No, you have very unique roles and you're doing something very different than the other players.
I know, we need to play that one again too, actually. So yeah. Dune Imperium. Yes. Yeah. That was another one that you said was kind of hybrid-y because it's abstracted. Yes, and I love Dune Imperium.
But it's hybrid. It's Euro hybrid.
Yeah, it does lean towards the Euro.
Two big Euro beasts, the worker placement and the deck building, and puts them together. Like,
yep. Groundhog Day.
More of a hybrid to me is Dune is more of a hybrid than Runes of Arnak. That one at least has combat and stuff like that.
Nathan says you're just tired of me being the alpha
I
gamer.
am. She's like, you dummy. Why did you do that?
I said that too. No, I didn't.
I don't know. I like having very unique abilities and roles. Even Pandemic, you have very unique roles and you do very different things. But I see all your cards. I see the board state. I know everything that's happened in the game.
Yeah.
I can look at what you decide and I go, well, that was the wrong move. I mean, it just.
Well, hopefully you wouldn't do that. You'd be like discussing. I mean, we tend to be like, I'm thinking about doing this. What do y'all think?
You nicely guide them in the right direction.
Yeah, okay. I was like, make it a team game. But yeah, I can see where,
But if you take your cards, for example, if you take your Pandemic cards and put them in your hand and you can't talk about them as much, it'd obviously make the game harder, but then I can't say, well, you need to give me 2 blue cards.
I'll be like, that's nice. Go fish. Gosh, Hunter, so stupid.
All right, I think we're going to get out of here. I'm tired. That was a lot of talking. I'm going to look I didn't write a note. How many did Rebecca do?
You're actually tallying it up. Somebody was in the chat. You have to look in the chat because I saw somebody. He or she was typing little tallies. So yeah, see, Corlu, that's how we usually do too. Is discuss several steps ahead. We're playing the co-ops and stuff like that.
I like doing co-ops that way. I like them better when you feel
like
unique.
You actually truly are doing something unique. That's true. I get it.
I think you did a lot of these.
Did I?
Yeah. I'm gonna guess you did 60 of them, and I did 40.
Wow.
Which means you like the games slightly better than me, but then some of my games you pushed way down. There's a lot more of my games you rated a lot lower than I rated your games.
Gotcha.
So you were always a step ahead of me until we got towards the top, and then a lot of the ones at the top were my games.
That makes sense. Because we have that overlap like we were talking about. So
right.
Yep. There you go. All right, I'm looking forward to some shenanigating next week.
We're going to shenanigate.
That's right.
And again, I encourage you, please show up for the town hall thing because I really want to talk about a lot of cool things.
Yes. So next week and the week after, you guys have to show up because you guys are the best. Ooh, and paleo. Yes, Coralu. Quit distracting me with shiny things. You all take care. It was wonderful to chat with you. I can't wait for some shenanigans and games next week. And what are you telling me to hold on for? I'm excited. What is this?
I'm actually gonna do.
You have an outro?
No, not yet.
Oh,
that's one of the things we're gonna do. Is we're gonna work on that. But
St. Patrick's Day.
Tell everybody bye.
Bye.
Bye. I'm Hunter.
I'm Rebecca. I'm Kate.
It's not funny.
Nessa.
This is
The family
the
show.
test for an outro thing. The test. The guinea pigs.
Oh.
How do you feel like being guinea pigs?
That's pretty exciting.
We're gonna try to start running outros in our videos.
Oh, we just missed Gorilla Gamer.
Bye.
Bye.